when I look at Asia and China, I think one of the biggest transformation, two of the biggest transformation is one is AI, which we talked about already, but the other one is humanoid robots. And that is something that, of course, I think you and Peter, Stephen and Peter, you've both been to Boston Dynamics a number of times.
This year in January we were there.
Yeah. And so you've seen what is all possible already for many years. Now China is taking this to the next level. And I'm not talking about a higher quality than Boston Dynamics, but a much more affordable price for an almost similar experience. And I think that's going to change the industries in the whole Asia, and specifically robots in factories, which are not just doing repetitive tasks like in an assembly line of a car factory, but who are doing intelligent tasks and changing tasks and can actually think for themselves or by learning from mistakes and so on. And so you see more and more. I mean, it's a prediction that by 2033, that all the car manufacturers, all the car factories in China will be completely automated, 100%, where there's no more people. So an Audi factory in Brussels taking over by Chinese would not be useful because it's almost all going to be robots and not people anymore. Even robots to monitor and to control other robots is what's happening very often. And so this is going into more humanoid, where people, where they look alike humans, can be hyper realistic. At the World Robot Conference in August in Beijing, you saw 27 of these robots, which were really scarily looking similar to people. It's starting to get there. And they have even artificial muscles and stuff like that they've been developing in China. I mean, it's going really crazy. It's really science fiction, almost life. But what I see much more happening is that if you look at, for example, the Boston Dynamic dog, which in the yellow dog, which is very famous. I mean, it still cost a huge amount of money. 2 or 3 years ago, it was like $75,000 for the best model.
When we were there, Spot was $75,000.
75. Well, in China, Unitree, you get a dog, and I've seen it in Beijing run around when I was doing a keynote at Cybos at Swift conference for only $3,000, and it does tricks, it does things. It looks, it's maybe not as sophisticated, but it's close enough to make you feel it's a dog. And so that is really interesting. They have something with cats as well. Xiaomi has a dog as well. It's $3,000. So, I mean, the difference in price from 75 to 3,000, that is an affordable price for many people. Mm-hmm. If you look at the Optimus from Tesla, the standing up human, well, in China, Unitree has one that costs about $16,000, and it does pretty much the same thing as the Optimus, and it's being used right now. So quite interesting. They've created Unitree in Shanghai. Hope, Peter, we will be able to visit them one day. The first production line of humanoid robots in the world.
That would be really cool.
So I think this is going to impact the whole Asia. And so that's something to watch. So that was my first of the 3 points.
I agree. And I think it's going to be fascinating. No, it's going to be fascinating to see how it evolves, because Figure One as well is one of those players. I mean, these companies are raising hundreds of millions of dollars in serious valuations. And honestly, when we were at Boston Dynamics, we could clearly see that they're looking at entirely new use cases. I mean, insurance, for example. I mean, if your house burns down, you want to, first of all, rescue any humans or animals that are in the house. But that's where firefighters come in. But if you can get a robot to come in and maybe take some valuables out of the house, that would be in a situation where you don't want to risk a human firefighter's life. But a robot, that has a much lower cost point, you can save some valuables, pictures, jewelry, cash, whatever. That becomes a really interesting new use case. So I think we're going to see a lot of that coming our way.
I wonder how many the new robots... video of Boston Dynamics, the one that they released last month, like the new version of Atlas that they had. It's like they're really going B2B into factory now, that they want to use it as a factory worker. That's what I saw in this new video.
I wonder, Peter, how many robots would be needed to get out all their Apple devices out of your chapel?
I don't want to think about it. I really don't want to think about it. No.
I think it would be the rise of the machines.
Maybe these robots would be really motivated to, get their ancestors out of a burning chapel. Yeah, yes. It's like, oh, grandpa. Yeah.
Yes.